David Frun, a CNN contributing um, journalist, has asked the question, what's the value of immigration, I guess, today? And he takes us back to the beginning when um, immigrants came in with skills, um, language skills, and there was also a need for more workers across the board. Population probably was small, and so it needed to come up to a certain level. And since perhaps he showed that wages have stayed steady and a whole bunch of talks, and he's asking the question of why do we need immigrants? And I guess the point then, though, is that immigrants should come to benefit America, not necessarily benefit themselves. And he showed how Australia and Canada have race-neutral immigration policies, while I guess America maybe has a racial policy. Prefer Europeans. And if you're black and you go to an embassy overseas and you have an education, he doesn't know that. They don't want you to come. They tell you that, man, that degree you have, we have thousands of people graduating with that same degree. Another thing too, if you're black and you have money you want to invest, they're going to check it down, investigate it. But if you're coming from Asia, India, China, Korea, anywhere, the big bucks, they're not even studying where it came from. Come on, man, start the jobs and going. But I'll come back to America. Why America needs immigrants now? But I don't. He hasn't lived in Canada. He just listening to the talk. I lived in Canada, sir, for about 8 years, and I went to there seeking political asylum. I didn't follow the proper protocol and so on. Um, my experience is this: that when you're in Canada and you're black, you you should be seen and not heard. And Canada, if as a black person you get in there and you start a business or a profession in a certain area, you're gonna have problems with people who are in that area already, in that business line, in that niche, as well as from the police. I remember a black person had a jewel store, and the police told him, why? I mean, you're in the wrong business, bro. There's another one who had a mechanic shop, and he put a mechanic lien on a white person's car who didn't want to pay him his money. And the police went and tell him, give the guy his car, man. What's wrong with you? Okay. I had an income tax business, and Revenue Canada will tell my clients that if they had done their work with H&R Block, they would have gotten their money already. And they encourage them um, to don't come by me and go by H&R Block. Um, they will even send in people with a variety of things. They keep coming at me. And one guy told me that, why don't I charge a percentage of what the people getting back? So if a guy's getting back so if a client is getting back $10,000 and you could charge them 25%, you get $2,500. But then that is evidence that you are including with them to defraud the tax people, because they will come in with bogus papers and make it. It would be so. In other words, if you're not too keen and too observant, you might be hoodwinking, putting the papers together, but he will agree that it's bogus, and he'll say that he told you it's bogus, but you just went in, and then they'll lock you up. I remember this Jamaican guy. He was a CPA or a CA, certified accountant or certified public accountant, and he purchased a home outside of Toronto, $250,000, and I suspect that they had their people mixing, got to be his friend, and they keep running in and out of his house. He won't get married. He had a BMW, dressing with suits, and just taking away white clients and so on, clients from the white folks. And at weekends and whenever, they say, neighbors say people running in and out of the house half naked and like he's gay and whatever. Next thing, they stab him up and he's dead. And if you could look at it carefully, you'll see that this whole rouse was just to kill him. I remember they had people coming into my office. This black fella said, "Man, I just left Quebec. I was in a credit card fraud thing. Man, and it got hot. I just left, and I'm in town now." Then he said, "Man, I could set you up in this business." Now, coming from a different state or a different province, I know that you have to be federal, okay? And because I'm doing income tax and I have people identification and other things like that, I'd be the right person to get into that fraud with him. But I'm not interested in no fraud, bro. I'm just, simply doing income tax here. But if I had gone ahead, then I would have gotten locked up and, they come up with all kinds of stuff, trying to set you up. Um, I I tried to get a patent on a clean coal burning technology so that my strategy was that there would be no pollution going into the atmosphere. I'll create the next factory next door or some distance away that you'll channel the emissions and then nothing comes out. I sent it to the patent office and they decided to tell me, "Look, man, you have a formula here that's in the textbook, therefore we can't give you this patent." But sir, I'm not claiming that formula, I'm just showing how it works. So in his handwriting, he told me, the examiner, patent examiner, said, "Why don't you go to a local patent attorney and let him help you to put it together?" There was no putting nothing together. He simply wanted me to let other people know of it. So now, Mr. Front, don't understand that probably he read something about how Canada is so nice and everything else, but he hadn't lived there as a minority. Um, when you go in there as a black person and you're well educated, they hate you so bad they will kill you, bro. Okay? And I remember I had this income tax business that's doing exceptionally well. I go to Revenue Canada, I take maybe about 40 or so individual returns to, get some help with. And they would tell me that, "Oh, we're doing 5 and you have to get the next appointment, come back and do the next 5 and so on." And there's this white guy, you call in, make an appointment. I would like to come in at 10 o'clock, have 50 returns, No, we could only do 5 at a time. And then there's this white guy next door over there. He has a whole stack and they're taking the time and going through them with him. I remember one guy repurchased his return, the RAL, and it was for $3,000. So they sent the preliminary papers to him, and he brought it to us. I said, "Revenue Canada, look, we purchased this guy refund, and the money needs to come to us. We sent it to his address. Could he change the address? And so the check would come to us." I saw him change it, but you know what? They sent the check to the guy again. The guy came, he said, "Man, look, they sent me the $3,000 check here, bro." We said, "I ain't gonna do that." So I gave him $100. Well, the owner of the money said, "You shouldn't have given nothing. You should have just said thanks." Well, the guy could have gone and spent it too, and we'd be out $3,000. You try to clear things with Revenue Canada. Say, "Hey, this guy, his record is good, no problem." When you give him the refund, next thing you know, the refund is not coming back to you. It's going to his wife. They had a hole on the account, but they tell us, "Oh no, everything is good." So, let me look at immigration in America. Arizona decided that they will try to stop illegal immigration to the state. How it's costing them all this money and so on. But let me say the economy was producing a million, GDP $1 million. What they discovered when the immigrants left, commercial as well as residential properties became vacant. Businesses had to close up because they were niched marketing. And as the clients gone, nobody to buy this stuff again. Services were done, reasonably. I mean, not a guy who could afford it. He wouldn't take an immigrant to do it. But somebody who could only afford $500 for a $2,000 job. They get it done. Guy gets $500. The person gets a professional job. It's just that he doesn't have all that overhead and so on. So all these people are suffering. And so if Arizona were to be honest and say, "You know what, these immigrants were definitely making a contribution here. Yes, they're using services, but they're contributing to the GDP would move from $1 million maybe to $500,000 perhaps, or $750,000. So that half or that $250,000, it's significant, all right? There's a drop. And so in the bigger picture, in the macro, where these 11 million people in America, they're paying rents, commercial as well as residential. They're buying cars. You see, Americans have almost everything they need: refrigerator, television, computers, cars, furniture, and so on. And these immigrants now are the ones that are buying stuff, buying houses, buying cars, refrigerators, So you need it. What used to happen in Canada, though, um, they will, the immigration consultants will go to, say, somewhere in Latin America, maybe Bolivia or whatever, and say, hey, why y'all don't come up to America, to Canada and claim political asylum? So then you get a whole swap, 2,000 show up claiming political asylum. So there's a lot of work for the immigration consultants now. Many of them will get through and they'll get, the green card or get landed. And then the other hawks are going to come on now. They want to get involved in multi-level marketing thing, like Amway. Oh, if you buy all this stuff and you sell it, you'll make all this money. And nobody wants to buy it. So they sell you $1,000 worth of stuff, telling you that you can make 2,000 or 1,500 or 2,500, but you can't get it sold. So the whole deal is just after you buy it, it's over. And then they're looking for more to come in and buy. Okay? I recall I went to a seminar on how to run a business or something like that. And the guy, after we paid our $250, he said, you know what? By law, all I have to do is tell you where to find the stuff and give you some handout here, and I've already earned your money. So you just talk for a couple little bit, hand out some flyers and say, okay, see you. So I discovered that, man, I'm going to know more with this seminar. Also, when you go to Canada, they will ask you, do you have Canadian experience? So although I have a bachelor's, I have two associates and a bachelor's. Associate in accounting, bachelor's in business management. They ask me, do you have Canadian experience? No? Well, they won't hire you. When you start your own business and you're taking clients away from the whites over there, you have a problem on your hand. You will call for an interview. You interview, the guy say, hey, you got a job. And before you reach over there, the guy say, oh, I changed my mind, bro. Something happened, man. Don't worry about it, okay? All right. They tell him, don't hire him. you know. So I think that America needs immigrants. It might not necessarily be that, well, we have all this factory work or these farm jobs and so on. But and I don't want to, get on Americans' case, but with the way education is going, what the enemy has done to it, you go to school, you don't need to know this stuff, just know where to find it. Even the CIA wants to hire foreigners. There are special visas for certain high-skilled immigrants that come in. So what he has to say about that? So immigration is still serving its purpose, and it will always serve its purpose. The economy is blind. The economy does not care whether the person is here legal or illegal. All the economy knows is that it has this volume of activity because of everybody here. And when you get rid of that 11 million, it's going to drop. They're going to find that you have more property for rent, commercial and residential. Jobs will not be filled. Americans not going to go and pick no corn and no tomatoes and cucumbers and watermelons. Americans will not do many of the jobs that these illegals do. So that you have a dilemma. I don't know what the solution is, but to just say that immigration is bad and it's not necessary this time, it's kind of like haphazard and it's kind of like myopic.